Hello, my artsy friends. Wanted to make a quick video about something that shocked and amazed me. Maybe not too shocking to you. But the difference between Amsterdam acrylic titanium white and Master's Touch liquid acrylic titanium white from Hobby Lobby, in my case. So I've been using Amsterdam since I started doing acrylic pouring here just a few months ago, I think it's been now. And I love the quality and consistency of Amsterdam paints, right? They're fantastic, but they're also not cheap. So I've been getting mine at a local art store where occasionally they have them on sale a little bit, but still, I think I'm paying close to $20 or so for this Amsterdam bottle here at 16.9 fluid ounces Amsterdam titanium white, and it's wonderful. But what I noticed, and I expected that Amsterdam was going to be the best for pouring bases and things, but I noticed that when I make my base paint in titanium white and I pour it out, I smooth it out with a flat palette knife. And I do the best I can, and I try to make it a little thinner than I would even expect it would need to be. And it evens out pretty good, but, you know, not always perfectly. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a little bit of an edge right there from my palette knife. It's a big, wide, probably 4-inch wide palette type of spatula, really, to put my base paint onto. Now, if I wanted to be nice and perfectly smooth, I suppose I'd waste a lot of paint. I'd pour enough that I'd get a big, huge circle, and then I would just tilt the canvas all around until it covered, and then I wouldn't touch it. But I'm trying to use as little base paint as I can so that my colors here don't sink in and disappear, right? So this one was done with Amsterdam white as the base, and I've been doing that for a lot of my acrylic pours now over the last few months. But recently I was in my Hobby Lobby, and about every other week they put everything Master's Touch at either 40% off or 50% off. So about a week ago I was in there, and they had one of these left, a liquid acrylic titanium white Master's Touch at 50% off. So this is normally about $13. I paid $7.50 for this huge bottle, which is the same size as this Amsterdam that cost me almost $20. I did not have high hopes for this Master's Touch, and boy, was I wrong. This stuff is fantastic. At least I had a great experience with it. Granted, I've only done it once, but I poured the base for this painting using the Master's Touch. A little bit of shine on it there, but I was just immediately impressed with mixing the Master's Touch liquid acrylic. First of all, it mixed up really easy. I mixed 50-50 with my paint and with Flood Floetrol, latex based. Then I add about 10% water to make my base colors, right? This mixed up really quickly, really easily. When I lifted my popsicle stick off the paint, I had a nice steady stream for longer than I would get with Amsterdam. So I was pretty hopeful already. I went ahead and poured my base. I smoothed it all out with a big flat spatula. And although I can see a couple of very, very tiny shadow lines in the base, I can tell you when I got done spreading it all out on here, before it dried, there was a lot of areas that were uneven on this canvas. Then after almost, I'd say 12 to 14 hours of drying, naturally I noticed a hair right in here, an obvious hair, and I was mortified because that's the biggest improvement I've seen, or difference between this Master's Touch and Amsterdam. With the Amsterdam, if I had to go into even the wet paint and touch it in any way, and then repair it by putting a drop of my base coat in there, you could really tell. I mean, with a photo, maybe not so much, but in person, really looking at it, if you looked for it, you could really see it. So I did not have high hopes here, and I picked out this hair, and I started with an X-Acto knife, and then a tweezers, like a modeling tweezers. And I had what I'd consider kind of a mess right in there in between the wings. I was pretty disgusted, really bummed. And then I went to my Master's Touch liquid acrylic base that I had made. I took a tiny Q-tip and I took the end off it, dipped it into my base, put a drop on there, and then I even smoothed it out a little bit with the Q-tip. And I said, well, let's just see how it goes. I was immediately impressed because there was barely one edge showing on my drop when I put it in, even though the paint had been drying already for 12 to 14 hours. So in the end, if I look really, really closely, I can see that I messed around in between there, but really getting back from it, I can't see it at all. And I'm just really, really pleased with how that turned out. So at least without a lot more experience than just one painting, which was immediately more fun and more enjoyable, looked better, easier to work with the base paint, using Master's Touch liquid acrylic over the Amsterdam. I am very encouraged, mostly because, you know, as artists, we're always concerned about cost. And for a long time, I've been buying my acrylic gesso, by the way. Instead of using Liquitex, I've been using this Master's Touch, and I buy it when it's 40 or 50% off, normally about $17, and get it for, you know, real cheap, about $8 or $9 for one of these. And I just do it, you know, every now and again when I start to get a little low. And this stuff works great. And this Master's Touch liquid acrylic titanium white worked wonderfully for me. Again, mixed 50-50 with Flood Floetrol latex based and about 10% water. The base, I then just pour all around my canvas. I smooth it out with a big flat spatula as best I can, you know, and then I take a foamy and I just go around the edges to get the big drips off. And then that's it. I go after my painting. And if I make mistakes, I put a drop of that base on there. And with the Master's Touch, it just sunk right in and blended really nicely. So that's my review. If you're scared of Master's Touch, don't be. Give it a try. Try the colored paints too. They work great. Any thoughts, comments, please leave them below. I appreciate your support. Y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.